If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
It is Thursday Night Live. Don't be confused. I know it's Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday night edition of Thursday Night Live.
It is brought to you by Bud Light and Fremont Mortgage. We are out here at Bill Bateman's in Reisterstown. Spirited crowd here.
Always.
Thanksgiving Eve. My name is Glenn. The guy on the end of the table is Nestor. You obviously don't care at all about us. You want to say hello to the man in the middle.
He's 8-2.
He is the host of Thursday Night Live. Please give it up for number 88, Baltimore Ravens tight end, Mr. Dennis Pitta.
Yeah. All right, first things first. How's your head? I mean, we're worried about you. You have me worried about you for a couple hours. Then you're laughing with me after the game. I mean, you just disappear, and it's like, Dennis is dead. He's out. He's got a concussion. And then I see you in the clubhouse afterward, and you were like, you weren't even acting weird or anything. So how you feeling? How's the last couple days been for you?
I feel pretty good. You know, took a pretty good shot there, and you know, with all the new concussion protocol and stuff that they have to do, they wouldn't even let me come back out on the field.
They wouldn't let you walk on the field?
No, they kept me in the locker room, and I just had to watch the game on TV.
How'd that go for you? A little weird, huh?
It was weird. Yeah, I really didn't want to watch it on TV, so, but had to.
There isn't a good story here, like that you thought you were Batman at one point or anything like that.
No,
I always hope for good stories after concussions.
Do you remember any of this? I mean, do you remember getting hit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the play. I remember the play call. I remember lining up, and then I remember waking up, and the ball was next to me, and I said, "Did he throw it to me?" And yeah, then I kind of stumbled off, and they brought me in the locker room. So that was my day. One play.
It's a good time, I think, to even talk about concussions and stuff and what the protocol is, especially you having, had this going on and what happened later in the game with Ed Reed and all that. But I would think 10, 15, 20 years ago, they would have, put some masking tape on you and, put a little smelling salts, and you would have been back out there in the next play, right? I mean, that's the way football used to be. I guess we can all have an appreciation now, given all the things we've seen with concussions and stuff, that they wouldn't let you walk back on the field. You might not have liked it at the time, but at least you can respect where they're coming from, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even, 5, 10 years ago, I think I would have been back in that game. And, to be honest, once we got in the locker room, I felt fine. And I really wanted to get back out on the field, but they wouldn't let me. And kept me in the locker room and told me I was done for the day. So, they're very strict with that stuff. And concussion awareness has been so heightened the last few years, and they're really taking it seriously.
Difficult as an athlete, as a football player, watching the game. You've been fortunate since you've arrived. You haven't really been injured much. Watching a football game, knowing it's Ravens Steelers, it's the game that everybody's circled on their calendar. What's that sort of feeling like for you to sort of be helpless, maybe a little bit in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, that is the feeling. You're helpless, and I'm sitting there and he's telling me, you're done for the day, and that's hard to swallow.
Right.
Especially in a game of that magnitude, and you want to be out there. I mean, that was my first play of the game, and I took a shot like that and got knocked out. And it's just, it's hard to deal with at the time. But at the same time, you have to understand, where they're coming from, why they're doing that, and ultimately, it's a good thing. We really don't know a whole lot about concussions and the long-term effects and all that, and so you have to be ultra cautious with an injury of that sort.
I'd assume your wife preferred the fact that you didn't go back into the game.
Yeah.
She's like, we don't need to be.
Well, this is the thing. Believe it or not, Dan, we really like you. I don't know if you know this or not, but we like you. And I'm sitting up in the press box.
Right, exactly. I wish I could say the same.
Yeah, I mean, you like us for an hour a week because you have to, but I literally was sitting up in the upper deck, and I'm in the press box with access to quote-unquote information. There's no information other than Luke and I looked and said, they just carted Dennis off, and he's not coming back, and then Dennis isn't returning. And I'm like, man, I wonder how bad it is. And the first thing I thought of, knowing how much I love my wife, and if it were me and she were in Baltimore and I were in Pittsburgh and I just disappeared from the TV, at what point does your family get told what's going on? And because if I had gotten a good update or had seen you, I thought of texting your wife after the game and just saying, hey, I just saw Dennis, he smiled at me, I think he's all right. There's just a whole family part of this that I don't think the fans feel for you because they like you, whatever, but I think it's even worse for family to have to endure that.
Yeah, my wife, she's a warrior, and she, I know when I didn't show back up in the game, she was pretty concerned about it, and fortunately we have, a couple guys on the sidelines that text her for me, our player personnel, and then, Chad Steele.
Good, so that's good.
Yeah, and so they let her know right away what the situation was, and that I was fine. I wasn't going to be coming back in the game, and so she could kind of, relax a little bit, knowing I was okay, still being concerned that, I just got knocked out of the game, but yeah, they did a good job of letting her know right away.
Tough to be a worrier when you're married to a football player.
This is a high-risk job here, Dad.
I'm assuming that's involves some great amounts of stress.
Yeah, she gets pretty stressed out all the time.
Right. You're like, sweetheart, I just turned my ankle.
The day of the game, she can't even eat. She's just
oh my gosh. Did she watch, really, or did you find her, did she admit that she sort of turns away a little bit sometimes?
I mean, half the time I feel like she's never even watching. After the game, I'll say, "Hey, did you see that play? This play?" It's like, "Oh no, I was down in the family room getting something to eat or whatever, and I didn't see that one." So she's not paying that well of attention.
That's right.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.